Hey guys, thanks for listening to The Cynical Nerd. Please keep in mind that we do not avoid spoilers for any of our topics, whether they are current or past media. Listen at your own risk. You ready to go? You ready to do it?
Yeah, I'm tired.
It's a pretty sleepy day, I agree. This fucking humidity just weighs me down and just makes me feel older than I am. And even when it's good, a good humidity index out there, I still feel older than I am, so I feel even older than I normally feel that I am. It's like another 5 years on top of the 5 years.
Hey, you humidity out there. You stay away.
You knock that off now.
You fall in line. I got nothing. That's like, well, you know what? The number one casualty of me being tired is my wittiness goes right out the fucking window. I have no couth. I have no wit, if you will.
Oh, my thing. Here we go. Nope, we just had to get that over with. Now we're good.
We're good now.
Now we're good. No more fidgeting with the camera. Just kidding. One more time. And now we're good. This is good podcasting right here.
Well, since you're doing it, and I'm getting it.
Great intro. Best cold open in 100 and some odd episodes.
104 episodes. This is episode 105.
105, brother.
What a great segue you had there.
Yeah,
just
you like
now.
that? You like that shit?
It just ran past. I saw it skitter on by.
Oh, dude, speaking of skittering on by, no, let me tell you something that happened during our Soul MT. Do you know, like, I don't know what this bug is. It's a house centipede, so saith Veronica.
That sounds gross.
They're spiny and they look like an exoskeleton, and I hate anything that has more than 4 legs, period. I think that there's no reason you need that many legs. I think it's rude. I think that you're hoarding the legs of the world. I just hate it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. So we were watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and one of them was, I saw it up by the TV, and we've been seeing them in the apartment a lot. And like, they're one of those bugs everyone's like, oh, they kill other bugs. They kill spiders and they kill mosquitoes. And I'm like, all right, if he stays over there, then cool. No big deal.
Then I won't murder him.
But what he did was he climbed across the ceiling over to me, and I'm like, I don't want to be enjoying this movie, and then this thing falls on my lap, and then I have a heart attack. So I did what any good fiance would do, what any strong-willed man would do, and I asked Veronica to kill it because I'm horrified of bugs. I can't stand them.
What any blue-blooded American man would do.
What any brave chest hair laden man would do, and I asked my 115-pound fiance to do it for me, and she did a pretty bad job of it because she hit it once with the Swiffer and then it fell, and now it's like, well, he's still alive and we just don't know where he is.
Oh, and now he's out for revenge.
Exactly. That's where. So we're on the same page. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we, after like 15 minutes of me having a panic attack, we decided he's probably gone, and put the movie back on. And then, like, out of the corner of my eye on the far wall, I saw him and, like, screamed out, like, he's back! And,
what's that part where you fucking thought he was on your foot?
Oh, where I thought he was on my foot, and I jumped around. It was embarrassing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was just like a clump of Einstein hair that was, like, attached to the back of my foot, and I went, like, ah! And, like, jumped up and down, trying to kick him away. It was,
oh, no.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was embarrassing, and there was only one person here, so that should tell you how that felt.
I love that story. I also have a story. You already know this story, though, because I couldn't help but tell it to you.
I forget it, though, so, like...
It's completely unrelated to a bug trying to murder me.
Oh, I just remember now.
Yeah, my adorable, sweet, innocent little baby boy, Grayson, who is 4 years old, we're hanging out over the weekend, and it's the three of us on the couch. I think Samantha might have been in the shower, and I'm sitting in the corner. Little baby Archer, as Grayson's been calling him, doo-doo baby, doo-doo buddy. He's propped up next to me, just chilling, sitting, can't move on his own, useless sack of potatoes still.
Right.
And so I've got black pants on, and Archer has these little black pants on, and Grayson comes over and he was like, "Daddy, Daddy," and I'm like, "Yes," because he does this 1,000 times a day. He's usually pointing out something incredibly obvious,
Right.
but I reward him for doing it anyway because it's good observational skills. I'm proud of you. He goes, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, you're wearing black pants, and Archer's wearing black pants, and I have black pants, so we're the black family." And he just starts singing, "We're the black family," and he gets through about 4 refrains.
Yeah.
Before I can stop wheezing to tell him that he has to stop singing this.
Right.
And I could not figure out the words to say why he should stop singing this without making him feel like it was a bad thing when it's not. So I just didn't tell him why. And that's going to be one of those mysteries that I feel like in, 6 years, he's going to do one of those things where he has like a lightning bolt realization of like, oh, that's why you told me to stop singing that song.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for that to take its course naturally so I don't have to deal with it as a parent.
I remember when I was like 3 or 4 years old, my mom asked me what I wanted to be. This is a true story. What I wanted to be when I grew up. And I said that I wanted to be black. And she said, "That's not how that works." And I just couldn't understand why I couldn't.
That's not how that works.
Just do that. It's not fair, but that's life. That's what it is. That's my goofy thing that I said when I was a kid. So I can relate.
I like it. How's your? I haven't just asked the easy question. How's your week going so far?
It's pretty rough, but it's like I say the same thing every week. Like it's like homework and work, and it's just the same shit. It's don't ever take expedited courses if you ever go back to college for some reason. Just take the normal shit. Just take
Keep
it
that in
at
mind.
yeah. That's my nugget of wisdom for the episode.
Same shit, different sode.
Good episode title.
That's true. We're just shoveling the same shit over here.
How are you? How was your week going? How was your 2 days into the week going?
It's going okay. I was trying to think of something witty to say, and like I said, that's the first thing that escapes me when I start to become
it's not there.
Yeah, I made the mistake of we had dinner and then I helped Grayson finish this Lego he's been trying to finish, and then he played for like an hour, and Samantha was with Archer, and for that last hour before bed, I nodded off on the couch. And so like I wake up at 8 o'clock, I get him ready for bed, and I'm like, oh shit, we're recording tonight. And I'm like, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And here we are. Let's car ramrod this bitch. We don't have a ton of news to talk about. I'm actually kind of happy we ended up choosing to record tonight. One, you got to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which that's our main topic tonight. Two new trailers dropped like today that I'm really glad that we get to talk about. One of which is the Ahsoka trailer.
Yeah.
And one of which is the last Blue Beetle trailer. That's sneaking up on me. That's coming out really soon. Next month,
I always forget that that's happening until we talk about it here. I'm like, oh yeah, that fucking movie. Not because it doesn't look good. It's, I don't know.
August 18th.
Just something about it doesn't stick to my brainium.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, even though we're talking about it now, it's going to come out. And then like the day after it comes out, I'm going to go, oh fuck, right. We knew that was coming out for weeks and weeks, and it's still somehow surprising to me. Decent amount of trailers, but one main topic, and we're ready to crush this shit. This is episode 105, Johnny Five Alive, called Same Shit, Different Sode, which I have to write down. I like when we listen, Borther. I like when we get episode titles out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Early.
We don't have to think about it later. Yeah, it's done. Just fucking can that shit.
Same shit, different sode. All right, we might as well just plow right into the fucking.
Let's dive right in. Take us away, Chris.
I'm pretending like I have caffeine in my body. The first thing is a weird article that earlier today I was like, do I want to keep this here or should we get rid of it? And ultimately I decided to just keep it because it feels like it's right up our wheelhouse. Skyrim, the game that never seems to stop producing fucking articles. The modding community has its own deepfake porn controversy. Sure, that sounds like something that I would. Oh, running. And running, running, and running, running, and
It's like
running,
the opposite
running.
of stubbing your toe. Sorry. Everything's okay.
Everything's okay. I went, oh shit, what the fuck just happened? I'm leaving it. Wasn't long enough of an absence for me to
Right,
warrant
we're
a
good.
cut.
We can keep that one. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's just mildly alarmed. But we're back, baby! To talk about what's really important in life, a deepfake porn controversy in Skyrim.
Back to the real issues.
Back to the yeah, so listen, there's a popular modding site. If you've modded anything, any kind of PC game ever, you have heard of Nexus Mods. And AI has really dipped its toe, so to speak, in everything from mods to, porn, and now porn and mods at the same time. Who would have thought? We had talked about this before. I believe this was an article we discussed where they were using AI to create basically infinite possibilities for conversation with
the
NPCs.
voice lines, right. Yeah.
Right. And now they're doing AI voice cloning technology. And it sounds like the issue at heart here is that a couple recent mods are using voice cloning tech from companies like 11 Labs to mimic the voices of existing Skyrim characters to act out scripts written by modders, making characters like Freya the Shaman and Ildi the Bard willing participants in a variety of sexual encounters. Of course, while these are fictional characters, they are voiced by real people, and that's where the issue comes up. Look, we're not going to dive into this. This is not what we do on the podcast. This is video game adjacent, and we do video game stuff, and it has to do with porn, and I'm 12 in my heart and soul. So that's why we're talking about things that might have boobies in them. But what I will say is this is more of a conversation that I just think is interesting, but that we're going to continue to have boil to the surface. As another example, Sarah Silverman is suing ChatGPT. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
but she
did not.
This just came out like a day or two ago. She's suing them because she said, like, hey, look, you guys said you only used like open source stuff to train your AI model, but I can ask it for a quote of my book, which is a protected work, and it can give me like verbatim passages. And the only way you could do that is if you just let it read whatever it wanted and didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
So there's so many questions like these of ownership rights to things like the tone of your voice in this instance. Like, these people are being made to sound like they're saying stuff that they're not saying, which to them they think is a legal issue. I don't know. We don't have the answers here at the Cynical Nerd, but
No.
I thought it was an interesting topic to bring up. How does this kind of stuff make you feel? Does it make you feel icky? Like, do you think it's gross? Or do you think it's like, fuck it?
I would mod myself
Literally.
into Skyrim and then fuck myself. I think that would be really cool. If I could seek out Derek Ryle in Skyrim and then have sex with him, I think that would be really neat. I'm half kidding. You know what? Like, when it first popped up, there was like deep fake porn videos half a year ago or something like that of like famous Twitch streamers. And I kind of went like, oh, come on, it's fake. Like, who gives a shit? And the more I kind of pondered on it, I'm like, okay, if that was me, and it was like, even though it's not me, like, if it's made in my likeness and with my voice and all that, can I really not imagine the possibility of feeling violated? Of course not. Like, that, I can absolutely imagine a scenario where, like, I would go, okay, this is weird, especially if it's something like I wouldn't do. So it's just bizarre. I don't know. How far is this going to go? Like, it's such a weird, seems like, I don't know.
What? So here's also, would you be picky about it? Like, if you saw AI generated porn of yourself, would you be like, hey, I wouldn't let him come on my fucking face. He could only come on my chest and titties.
Or if they like deep faked me onto a fat guy in a porn, would I be like, what the fuck? But if it was like a dude with like a 6-pack abs, I'd be like, I'm okay with this. Yeah. I'm all right with this.
What's this fat guy? Oh, it must be Ron Jeremy. He's got a hammer. I'm okay with this now.
I feel like, here's what it comes down to. I feel like if it was me, like if I came across a deep fake of me, I would think it was funny. Like, in the worst case scenario, I would think, like, even if it was something crazy, I'd think it was hilarious. But my singular thought on it doesn't mean that applies to everyone. I can see how someone who is like a public figure, which I am not, would go like, well, now there's these images out there that are not me, of me getting fucked by well, let's just take Ron Jeremy. Let's just take him back out. And I can see how that would make you feel violated.
Didn't he get like in trouble for doing some really bad
I think
shit?
so. I think he's a peed, pretty sure.
And then I think they couldn't charge him because he's like got dementia
Too
real
disgusting.
bad or something. Well, yeah.
Like, you're way too gross to come near you. We don't want you in the courtroom, so you're good.
This is a deep cut reference. You'll probably remember it though. We did a World of Warcraft dungeon called Freehold. And it's like a pirate den, right? And you go through and there's different pirate themed bosses. And the second boss is like an arena type fight where there's an announcer. He sends out a couple different waves of bosses, and before it starts, the players have to click on this oiled, slicked up pig, and you click on it enough times, and one person ends up with it, and it's like an in-game joke or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That pig is Ron Jeremy. That's the whole point of the joke. He's a slimy pig. The court guardian, the court officers were like, officers of the court. I'm so sorry. I said that like a fucking idiot. We're like, Your Honor, we tried to get him in here, and he just kept slipping through our fingers.
So greasy.
He
just slides out of the cuffs.
Yeah, he must be one of the arch nemesis of the Buttfuck brothers.
Anyway, the last thing I want to say on this is I played Skyrim. I modded it like when I first got a computer, and I gave everyone huge tits. and I got like 3 hours in, and I was like, I can't take this game seriously. It's just a pornography at this point.
Yeah.
It's not a video game. It's just titties everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to,
Yeah, and I never
like you're
modded the
playing
titties back in. That was my last
like
one.
You're playing one of those fully realized like mobile game advertisements where they just like, click here for $20, and they're flapping giant titties in your face with like medieval wands and shit. And you're like, no. You won't get me for the 5th time.
Not again. Not after you sold my personal information.
All right, moving on. Hey, I've been trying to ignore this game, but it keeps popping up in my feed over and over.
Shut the fuck up. That's the exact same thing I had to say about it. I'm sorry. I'll let you say the name of the game first.
The game to which we are discussing is called BattleBit Remastered. And it is being heralded as this like fantastic spiritual successor to Battlefield. And at first glance, you might be like, that looks like Minecraft with blocks, but it is. It's a very low poly game, so much so that you can play it on a large install base, which is probably helping it quite a bit, to be honest. Apparently, it plays a lot like Battlefield 3. It's only $15. It's there's not like a crazy huge pass. It's like you pay 15, then you just get access to this real big shooter that you can unlock stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, apparently the gameplay is like gigantic sopping wet titties.
Yeah.
Like gunplay is supposed to be great. It's all destructible. There's vehicles. It's like 124 players per session or some shit like that.
I'm getting it.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
And I'm going to tell you why, because I swear to God, my thing is if I keep hearing about a game or a movie, whatever, by word of mouth, like not advertisements that someone just bought ad space for, but just people like something so much that they're talking about it that I keep hearing about it, I go, okay, that's going to be fucking awesome. And in all my gaming groups, people keep bringing up this game, and nobody has said a bad thing about it. Obviously, the one thing upon looking at it you could say is that it looks like poo-poo butter. But I've played some of the low poly stuff like Dusk and what's the other one? I can't think of. Ultra Kill. And there's like old school boomer shooters, and they're really fun. They focus on gameplay more than graphics. But so anyway, the last time I saw something, I'm like, all right, if I hear about this game one more time in earnest, I will get this game. Like, I'll just say fuck it and just get it. It's like you said, $15. If it sucks,
Little
you're
man,
out of 15
put
bucks.
that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you O-B-O-B-O.
O-wee-o-wee-o. We're not going to do the whole
My
thing, though.
jungle love. O-wee-O-wee-O. I think I want to know ya.
All right, so we did do the whole thing. No, and so you have mentioned it again, and so it's happening. I'm going to get it. I'm going to try it out. Fuck yeah.
Am I like the Bloody Mary? Did I say that I get to say the third one? Okay.
You're the third one.
Yeah, I love it.
The
I love that I did
BM.
that. Yeah, no, apparently oh god, got me. Yeah, apparently the like everything you want to feel good in a shooter, it feels good here. So that's why people are ignoring the fact that it looks like Minecraft, because you know, hitboxes are wonderful and the gunplay feels really good, and you know, buildings are fully destructible. And I'm sorry, it wasn't 100 some players. You can have a match of up to 254 people in it.
Jesus Christ.
Like full scale fucking war. And apparently it's just fucking super fun. You know, they got conquest style modes, just like typical Battlefield, capture the hill type stuff. Yeah, no, it looks really fun. And I just got done watching, you know, it's an indie developer, obviously, and I just got done watching a really wholesome video where IGN, because this game is blowing up, had, you know, it's one of those things where they grab like a real weapons expert and they go through the weapons in the game, because the models, despite it being pretty low res, are fairly accurate to real life gun models. And they're going through it. And the video that I saw was the developer who was live streaming as they coded the game. Someone told him that this video released, and he watched it live and everyone got to see it. And it was very wholesome. It was very sweet to see how proud they were of the thing they were making.
Yeah.
And it only just makes me want to give those people more money, because like,
now you know they're human.
You're doing it the right way. You know, you're a little indie developer. It's $15 for the game. You're, you know, you're not charging a bunch of like extra DLC and like pay to win mechanics. You just made a solid fucking game, and everyone loves it and is acknowledging it. And I want to be part of that train. I want to sop up some of that emotional cum.
Sucking it. Speaking of games that we should play, I got Remnant from the Ashes. I think you played that, but I did not. And if you wanted to coop that, which is co-op, just a little wink your way.
Okay.
It was on sale for the summer sale, so I yoinked it.
Okay, I'd love to yoink it with you.
Yeah, you want to just yoink it away?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do these two articles that don't have anything to do with Deadpool, because we got several that do have to do with Deadpool this week. The first is, this came up quite a while ago, and that's because it's been sort of bouncing around for a while. There's supposed to be a Borderlands film coming from Eli Roth. It was supposed to be written by Craig Mazin, who's the co-creator of Last of Us and has done some great things. He's also done Chernobyl and The Hangover Part 2, which we can forgive him for that one, but the other ones are all really good. And so, you know, Eli Roth's got kind of a real big hit or miss track record for me, personally. And I like Borderlands, but I feel like the magic of 1 and 2 was lost, because 3 is basically just Borderlands 2 again.
Yeah.
And it did not capture my attention. And then it just feels like one of those properties that everyone's they're like, oh, wait, there's something here. I want to make money off of it. And this movie just felt like that. And I know that's, you know, me putting the cynical nerd, but I just thought that the movie didn't look like it was going to be all that funny, but I'd like to be surprised.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is another one I keep forgetting about, like Blue Beetle, except this time I know why I keep forgetting about it. It's because this is Borderlands. I'll say this. I sold my soul, and I did get Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, or whatever it's called, also on sale on Steam Summer Sale. And boy, does that game play so fucking well. It's super fun. But oh my god, the humor is unbearable. What's his name?
Yeah.
Andy Samberg? Why don't I remember that?
Sandberg. Sandberg
does some VA work in it that's very good, but the humor just sucks. They referenced Butt Stallion again. Like, I'm like, how many fucking games are you gonna do this in? But anyway, yeah, can't say I'm excited about this. Beyond just Craig Mazin leaving, I think that it's something in here. There's been like 12 writers who have like walked out on it, which is like, whoa, like that's a disturbingly high number of people who have walked away from it. And
too many hands in the cookie jar.
Yeah. It sounds like Craig Mazin it just doesn't even want to be acknowledged, which is, I don't know. It's a little nutty. Eli Roth is a weird guy. That'd be a weird guy to take acid with. He's very uncomfortable looking. So that's the last thing I have to say about it.
It's the Bear Jew.
He's the Bear Jew.
He's the Bear Jew. Yeah, no, I mean, so this is, I guess it's kind of a big deal. So basically what, you know, Derek had gotten at there was Craig Mazin officially stepped away from the program and elected to remove his name from it altogether. And while that doesn't sound like necessarily the craziest thing to do, apparently to get your name removed, it requires like approval from the Writers Guild of America. So it's not something people usually do unless the movie is so egregiously now not what Craig wrote that he's like, well, I just can't, like, I can't be associated.
Can't
Like,
have my name on that, especially
I can't
just, like,
right.
shot up to fame recently.
Right, exactly. So I'm thinking he's like, well, this might just kind of be a bag of shit, and I don't really want that on my resume. So let me just back away slowly. Look, it still has the ability to be great. It also has this other really big warning sign, which is that it doesn't currently have an expected release date, and we've been hearing about it being in development since 2020. So who the fuck knows? It sounds like it's going through a pretty tumultuous post-production, and I don't envy anybody involved. Look. We always want it to be good. Just might not be.
Yeah.
Lastly, but not leastly, before we get into the Deadpool thing, hey, guess what? We've been talking about this shit off and on for weeks and weeks and months and maybe years about people in the video game industry trying to unionize. I think that's a great idea. Sega of America just became the largest multi-department union in the games industry. Full stop. They voted to unionize. It is official. Good for them. I've literally nothing else to say besides good for you. I hope you make money, get the fair benefits you're supposed to get. I think it's a great idea, and hopefully more people follow suit.
I read this is the biggest union in the video game industry to date, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. When I read this earlier, I read this old joke years ago that was like, how can you tell the difference between a blue collar worker and an astrologist? And it was like, just ask them how it only works when it's written. Ask them how they pronounce unionize. And when I read this earlier, I'm taking an astronomy course right now. And I read Sega employees have unionized in my head. And then I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's all I have to contribute to this. Now I'm done.
I like that.
I'm sorry I drug you into my world that way.
Drag me, daddy. Okay. We have some news. So yesterday, you've forgiven me. I'm not saying 1 week. I apologize, but it'll still be. We got a picture. I think it was yesterday or the day before. We got a picture. It was definitely yesterday of. Wow, you just got stream of consciousness, Chris, right there. Of Hugh Jackman, huge jacked man, the traditional yellow and blue Wolverine costume. And I gotta say, like, it just looks good.
He looks very good in it.
And it just feels good to have him in it. I feel
good seeing him in it. I feel good.
My penis feels good seeing him in it. Both of them. And I'm actually a little surprised they went with the stark yellow and blue of the Fox cartoon era and not the more subdued original, like dark orange and brown costume. I figured some costume designer would go, oh, that's more muted colors, so it'll look better on camera. I'm not mad. I think it looks fantastic. I'm super happy about this. And so we got that, right? And we've just been getting these little titty bitties here and there. And I'm going to posit your boy, your host, is going to posit his theory for the overall storyline of this film. I think so. Here's the other pieces of news, and then I'll tell you what. So we also got a couple of days ago, Jennifer Garner is going to be returning as Elektra for Deadpool 3. She famously played Elektra in the Ben Affleck Daredevil films for Fox a very long time ago. But got fucking Colin Farrell was Bullseye or whatever his name was. Ben Affleck was also rumored as Daredevil to make a cameo, although it has not officially been confirmed. If she's showing up as Elektra, I could see that happening.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
doesn't seem that far-fetched if she's returning as Elektra. So that's the Jennifer Garner news. We've heard rumors that more Fox X-Men will be appearing. And then the topper on the cake was a news article I put in here today. We don't usually report on set photos, but this one I couldn't help. Mm-hmm. The actual 20th Century Fox logo was spotted on the set of Deadpool 3. It looked like it was like a ruin or something. It's very neat and very meta to see that actually like out there somewhere. And also kind of cool that they could do it, because I'd imagine that Marvel would have to get fucking approval from them to get that done. And after they bought the X-Men characters back, I'm surprised there wasn't more like, no, fuck you when this question came up.
Hang on. Isn't that, do I misunderstand? I thought that Disney just owned Marvel and Fox Entertainment now. Am I incorrect on that?
Yeah, you're right. They didn't technically buy the X-Men back. Disney just bought 20th Century Fox. Right. So now they're like, yeah, here you go, Marvel, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
So here's my theory. There's a very, very popular Deadpool storyline called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Where he does kills everybody in the Marvel universe.
You don't say.
The story is very thin. The entire thing is a fun like publicity stunt. It's like an alternate reality Deadpool. There's some villain that like basically takes all the good parts of his personality and turns him into just like instead of like the jokey Ryan Reynolds, he's like the super duper hardcore Ryan Reynolds, who's like, because we know Deadpool is on paper like really good at combat, shooting. He's got the healing factor, much like Wolverine. Is one of the reasons they get paired together a lot. Just one of the reasons I'm excited for that. He's a really good like fighter, but he's also an asshole, right? That's always the thing that held him back as an anti-hero. He's an asshole to everyone around him. He's always fucking with everybody. He doesn't take anything seriously. If he did, he could be a force to reckon with, right? But he's always just kind of mid-level because of that. The storyline follows, part of his personality through whatever comic book fuckery. It gets yeeted away, and he's just like this soulless husk who's got his skills and his healing potential, and he kills everybody. And some of them he finds Hulk and he shoots Hulk in the head in his sleep, like shit like that. He goes through character by character and murders everyone in the Marvel universe. You get to see a lot of fun cameos, interesting ways he kills people. And that's it. It was just like a one-off, but it's like a beloved, so to speak, Deadpool storyline. There's not much story to it, so like beyond like that's kind of neat factor that wears off after a couple pages for me.
Yeah,
I just know it exists. I know it's beloved. I think this is going to be like he kills the 20th Century Fox X-Men universe. Like I think he's going to murder all them off, and then the ones that get reintegrated into MCU will be different actors and so on and so forth. Right. But I think he's going to go.
Oh, that's like the reset. That's like their way of melody. It also lets them have Deadpool make fun of all the multiversal movies that have come out, because of course he would at this point in time. I really think that's the way they're going. I think the 20th Century Fox logo kind of just like puts the fucking nail in the coffin for me. I could be wrong, but who knows? Twould be cool. I saw this stuff. This is not me yelling at you, because I saw all of this shit before I saw it in the doc, but it's all over the internet, of course. It's all anyone's talking about. But I just feel like so much is given away. Like that Wolverine and Deadpool are going to fight. Of course, like you knew in your heart and soul it was going to happen. But just like seeing the actual stills of him in the fucking getup being, I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to expect that the entire fucking movie. But I'm still excited for it. I really think that they have to know that we've been talking about this movie since the podcast has been on. Like they have to know that like people expect them to be like family friendly Disney about this. And there's an opportunity for them to really do funny R-rated humor. And I expect that they will. Like
I do too.
I think that they want to use this as their like way of tapping into sort of that demographic, I guess.
We know it's funny. We're not talking about it this week, but you pointed out, I think, last time we talked about Secret Invasion, that Marvel's been getting more hardcore. They used 3,000 people dying in a terrorist bombing as a plot point. I absolutely think you're right. I think they're gonna use this movie to be like, look, we can do other things.
Yeah, we can be bad boys.
And that's really
be dangerous.
We can be. You can take us home to mom, but also we'll fuck you in the butthole when she's not looking. If you want to.
If you're cool with that.
Only if you want to. Yeah, just tap me on the shoulder twice if you say if you don't want me to. Yeah, no, it's actually really endearing that you're right. We've literally been talking about either the movie, the casting, or how they could possibly integrate it into the larger MCU since the inception of the podcast. And that's adorable. I love you a lot.
I love you too.
Moving on. Deadpool 3 stuff. You heard it all here. I'm not gonna cover like behind the scenes spoilers and stuff like that. Again, this stuff just sort of all coalesced at like the same time, and we were getting.
I'm not exaggerating. I literally saw all of this before I. Read it. It's like all that anybody's talking about today is the set photos and.
Yeah, it's everywhere. But goddamn, that yellow suit looks.
It does look very good. It looks very select. I agree.
And I there better be a part in the movie where he's cut Deadpool down to like a couple little pieces, and Deadpool still being a cunt about it, because that's the kind of shit that I expect. I'm talking real Black Knight over the bridge in Monty Python. Come back here. I'll gnaw your ankles off. All right. Moving on to our trailers. We don't have any mail this week, but if you'd like to send us an email, you can do it at questions@thecynicalnerd.com. You can also follow us on, I almost said TikTok.
TikTok.
You want a tic-tac?
Come on over to TikTok.
Mommy, get a tic-tac in your piss? I want a tic-tac. TikTok and Twitter @The Cynical Nerd. You can also go find our YouTube channel where all of our podcast episodes get uploaded in video format for free for you.
Yeah.
And all you got to do, there's no Patreon. We thought about it for a while and decided not to.
Yeah.
You just go subscribe and you get all that stuff. You get to watch it all the time. If you want to see faces, if you don't want to see this, listen, I understand.
Understandable. I get it.
My mom told me the same thing when she kicked me out of the house.
She was like, never look at me. Don't ever make eye contact with me.
She kicked me out of the house. She gave me 3 trash bags and a rotten peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I was on my own ever since. Don't look it up. You won't be able to prove it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the trailers. By the way, I fucking put up the Buttfuck Brothers as a TikTok clip. We're back, baby.
Back on the talk.
It's only been like a year. I looked back at our profile. That Medicine Titties original post has 700 views on it, which like in the land of TikTok is not that much. I know they do millions.
But to me, it's a lot.
But to me, it's a lot.
It's a lot to me. Yeah.
And I enjoy watching those because I like watching me make you laugh. It's really a selfish thing, Big old Medicine Titties.
It's a great callback. I also watched them after looking at the new one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we talked about how much money we would take to suck Elon Musk's stick for. Great video.
You know what's insane is what brought that conversation to light is that he actually propositioned a real human being, a horse, to give him a hand job. I don't know if you remember, but that's what we were referring to.
Love it.
Love that.
I'm very excited by this. All right, moving on.
I wouldn't. I'd take a horse. It's an expensive horse.
It's a very expensive horse. There's a new trailer for Killers of the Flower Moon. We just talked about that a couple weeks ago, and that's because there was like a teaser trailer type thing. This is an oficial trailer, which is Spanish for official. It's an Apple TV feature, but this is releasing in theaters, to be specific, in October. This features everybody in the fucking world that you would imagine would be in a Scorsese picture, namely Leonardo DiCaprio, but newcomers such as Brendan Fraser, baby boy Brendan, joining the spotlight. Jesse Plemons, John Lithgow, Robert De Niro. Like, holy shit, there's so many people in this trailer. This movie looks very good.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks very good. So this, I'll read the summary for people and then we'll do final thoughts and yeet on to the next one. But this is the turn of the 20th century. Oil brought a fortune to the Osage Nation, became some of the richest people in the world overnight. Of course, we as shitty Americans want that money for ourselves. And this follows the improbable romance of Ernest Burkhart, which is Leo DiCaprio, and Molly Kyle. And it looks like it's a Western crime drama. And this is going to make me hate white people even more than I already do, because we are and have historically always been rotten pieces of shit. But the movie looks great.
It looks excellent. I know we don't want to hang on it too much, but I'll say this one thing that I meant to say when we initially talked about this and completely forgot to. Martin Scorsese said in an interview about this movie recently that, and you can pull this video up, Akira Kurosawa, I think I said that right, got an honorary Academy Award, and I think it was like 92 or something like that. And it was presented to him by Steven Spielberg. And what Kurosawa had said at this time, when Scorsese was like, whatever, 40, 50, what Kurosawa had said, he did like Seven Samurai and all that shit, is he was like 80 years old at the time, and he was like, only now am I realizing just how far, like, just what we can do with cinema, and it's too late for me to do anything about it. And Scorsese, like, heard that and basically went like, what the fuck is he talking about, when he was like a young guy, and now he's in his 80s and he basically said the same thing. He's like, now I know what he means. Like, now it's like only after 80 years of doing this do I really see like how far we can take this medium, and I only have so much time left to do it. And that makes me so excited for this movie, just because I think this is like his way of saying like, hey, I'm going to be dead soon, and I really want, even though he's done so many things that are memorable, he's saying like, I really want my last few projects to blow your fucking mind.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very much looking forward to this. And that's
Big same. I obviously don't know, I didn't know all that backstory. That makes me more interested as well. But yeah, it looks good. I have a question for you.
Hit me with that question.
Did you ever see The Nun?
The Nun 1? I did not see The Nun 1.
Nun 1. I didn't either. Okay, so we're both going into this blind. We have the trailer for The Nun 2. So, this is a Conjuring universe spinoff. The first Nun movie,
The Nun 1,
really fun. The Nun 1. The Nun 1 did really fucking good. It's actually the highest grossing entry in the fucking Conjuring universe.
Oh, wow.
Which I didn't know that until I looked up interesting bits and bobs about this fucking movie.
Right.
But look, I mean...
Did you type that in? Interesting bits and bobs about The Nun 1.
No, but I'm going to start calling like my dick and balls my bits and bobs. I think it's a good nomenclature.
I got my bits and bobs stuck in the zipper again.
Just half my bobs, but a little bit of my bits.
Quite a bit of the bits.
There's quite a bit of the bits in here. All right, moving on. So I don't know. Obviously we're not huge horror film buffs on this podcast. This movie comes out September 8th. This is the sequel to
my birthday. It's like the opposite of a gift. It's scary.
Ooh, woo. This sequel to the movie. I actually found this trailer quite effective.
Yeah, I did too.
As far as like being a startling trailer, it was effective. I don't know if the movie's going to be great, but the trailer was pretty all right.
Dude, the part where the little girl backs out of the vent and she's sitting in front of the vent and didn't close the vent, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And it was just like,
and of course,
right.
Hans.
Some Hans came out. Yeah.
Getting real Hans.
Some Hans Zimmer came out.
Zimmer. Oh, no. All right, fine. Hans Niemann was a chess reference. Sorry. That's Han Solo. Okay. There we go. I brought it back to stuff we always talk about. All right. So yeah, September 8th. I think the trailer looks good. I gotta be honest. We've talked about this before, but my wife, Samantha, really enjoys scary stuff, but like doesn't want to. So she wants to watch Evil Dead Rise really bad, but won't watch it. Like anytime she thinks about watching it, she's like, it's too late. I can't watch it. I'll have nightmares.
Oh, so she wants to watch them, but like in the daytime. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Which we've talked about before.
That tracks. I actually like, I have to watch, if I watch something scary too late, I have to watch something that makes me laugh before I go to bed, or I will have nightmares.
That's fair. I either have to do that or I have to like play like a couple hours of games or something,
right.
Something to
or jerk off onto your own stomach. So you're like, ugh. And then it's just shame instead of fear.
Oh, and I gotta clean the shame glaze off my tummy before I go to bed. And then it gets in the belly button, and no one wants that.
No, that's a whole thing. It's a whole project.
Yeah. And if you leave it in there, and the next morning it's like one of those full body molds they do of someone's like hand for a movie set. You're like, ew. Moving on. The Nun one. We're done with the Nun one. All right. Look, Jesus, I didn't realize, I don't think, on a serious note, how much money Apple TV is pumping into films.
Yeah,
but this next one is also an Apple TV produced film going into theaters November 22nd. This is Napoleon from Ridley Scott. It's a screenplay by David Scarpa. Stars Joaquin Phoenix. And boy, this trailer is fucking great too. Yeah. Woof. Wolf is usually meant in like a negative context. I mean that in a positive context here. I don't know what to say, but I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is a fucking awesome actor. He's really
excellent just to watch him work. He's like, I don't know, but some people it's like you're there for the movie, and some movies you're there for the actor. I don't know, but I agree. It looks awesome. Ridley Scott, obviously, all his movies are beautiful. I already saw people like claiming that this is ahistoric, like things that they've shown in this, like the thing with the ice lake that he like fired cannons and drowned an army or something. It was apparently like just a piece of propaganda that Napoleon just like made up. But then someone hit me with the counter argument where they're like, well, Gladiator, also another Ridley Scott movie, was totally historically inaccurate, but it made people get interested in the time period and learn more about it. So it's like, you know, 6 one way, half a dozen the other, whatever. I don't care as long as it's an interesting movie. And then exactly like that person said, if I really want to learn more about what actually happened, I'll just read a fucking book. So movies are easier. What can I say? You just watch it and all the things happen in front of you. You don't have to imagine it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I agree with what you're saying. I mean, movies are meant to be entertaining. They're not necessarily meant to be documentaries. Yeah. That's what documentaries are for. That's why
they made documentaries.
That's why they put them on in your 6th grade class when you get a substitute teacher. Yeah. And then everyone just fucks around and takes naps anyway because no one wants to watch the fucking, what's the movie with Denzel Washington and the football team? Remember the Titans? Yeah. No one wants to watch Remember the Titans for the 13th time. Professor. So, you know, that's why that exists. Look, now I saw some people complaining because everyone was speaking English like very well in this trailer. He did the same thing with another one of his films where it was like a time period piece in another country and they just spoke English. I'm sorry. Hey, look, dude, I swear to God, the gun's making me a Republican. This is America. This movie's made by an American studio. Just be goddamn American. No, I look, it's a Hollywood, it's a Hollywood eye. I don't know how you put that. Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? And Hollywood has oozed itself all over this film. It's being made in, an American studio, like for an American
Hollywood
audience.
Has oozed itself all over this film.
I didn't want to, I say cum so much.
It's okay. You could say it more. I think you could say it more and you'd still be okay.
Hollywood come all over the face, neck, and chest of this film. No, it's an American studio. It's made for an American audience. It's like they didn't want to make you read subtitles the whole time. I don't blame them. He's done this before. I don't think it personally subtracts anything from the film. It's not supposed to be historically accurate period piece. It's just supposed to be a piece of entertainment based loosely off of the very interesting life of a very what's the word I'm looking for? Conflicted man is probably the best way.
A big old goofball, that Napoleon Bonaparte.
A big old goof.
Napoleon boner fart. That's a big criticism people make of films whenever they always have English accents whenever it's like any country that isn't America. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, you're asking an entire cast of people to have dialect coaches that teach them how to talk in an accent. Like, it's just unrealistic. I don't know. But no, I think it looks cool. I can't wait to ooze all over it.
Yeah, I want to ooze all over it. God damn it. You should be happy about this, you goddamn weebers.
When I saw this, it's like, did he put this in there for him or was it for me?
Yeah. Isekai anime series announced by Warner Brothers Japan and WIT Studio. It's the same studio who did the Batman Ninja anime a little while ago. They are doing a Suicide Squad anime. And no, I mean, I put this in here because I'm a delirious DC fanboy. And no, so the Batman Ninja thing I did not watch because it did not speak to me in the slightest. I don't, it looked kind of neat in some places, but I do not really care so much for the Batman mythos being reimagined in a samurai setting. I know that's a popular thing. It's been done in comic form before. I understand the allure of it. It's not really my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. This just looks like a Suicide Squad film in an anime style.
Yeah.
There's no catch to this. It's not Suicide Squad in feudal Japan or something. So, yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to watch it. I don't personally know much about the animation team behind it. I don't know if you do, but it looks cool. And
it looks very well done. The character design is good and it's animated well. And there's literally I think it's like a 40-second clip. Like there's not a whole lot to see here, but what is being shown looks cool. So I think it's certainly worth a watch.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a Superman anime right now or something? Or is that like a fever dream?
Locked. I was stuck in a stair. There's a My Adventures with Superman, but I don't think it's an anime.
It's not an anime. Okay. All right. Fever Dream. Move on.
I don't think so. Now I'm curious. My Adventures with Superman.
I was going to say, could you keep inflecting the end of every sentence that high?
I don't think so.
My Superman.
I'm not sure if it's Superman. It's semi-anime-ish. It's not anime because it wasn't made in Japan. As all my basement dwellers, I can hear you out there, would say. No, it's a little anime-ish.
Anime-ish.
Jack Quaid, son of Randy Quaid, it voices a character in it. You might call this anime though. I mean, the style's pretty.
I've heard a lot about it.
Oh, wow. Jack Quaid's actually Clark Kent. I didn't think he was doing that. Yeah. No, I've heard him talk about the series, and I've heard some positive things about it. And shit, so ever since we talked last week about Superman and Lois, I keep hearing.
Dude, me too. I know. I might do it. I might have to. People are saying it was a very good finale. Was that a finale or just a season finale?
I think it was a finale. I think it was a season finale, not the series finale. I believe they announced that there's going to be like one more season or something.
God, I love short shows.
Before they yeet themselves out of there. Yeah. Derek loves short shows. Okay. Moving on to what's arguably the worst looking thing in the list today. Twisted Metal. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This trailer is fucking terrible.
It looks
Please
so
tell
bad.
me.
Oh my
okay,
God.
Thank you.
Dude, I was embarrassed to watch it by myself.
I was embarrassed to watch it at work and have people go, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Nothing." Like I was hiding porno or something. This comes out July 27th. They somehow convinced Anthony Mackie to do it. This was based on an original take by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who are the people who wrote Zombieland. Just to remind you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This looks really cringy.
Super cringy. The humor is not funny at all. It's like MCU 12 years ago humor. It's just really bad.
And they have like a couple decent actors in here. I think I spied one of the guys from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't understand.
I don't get it. Bad writers.
Like it happens very early on. He's in that mall driving through the car and he's like, "Oh, they have a Foot Locker," and then he gets shot at. And I was like, the rest of this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
And I was right. The rest of it's real bad.
That was the signal flare for the rest of the 2 minutes of this trailer.
Besides Anthony Mackie, it's like, you know, Neve Campbell.
God, she looks great.
I
was going to say she held up, but that's a weird thing to say about a human being.
It's like you're talking about a dog, like a car or something. You still got the 57? Wow, she held up. That's your daily driver, huh? How many miles?
It's just my A to B. That's all. It gets you there.
Is that your ADC? Okay. Moving on. I don't that. Look, it fucking surprised me. Please tell me please come on and somebody tell me it's the next coming of fucking Jesus Christ. I hope it's phenomenal. It's not going to be. So spoiler alert. It's not going to be. Let's get this trailer out of the way too. Wonka. Timothy. Look, I like Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
I don't know that a Wonka origin story is necessarily needed.
No.
But it's coming December 15th. And so here's my relationship with this trailer. In the beginning, I went, wow, he is not high enough energy to play Willy Wonka. This doesn't feel right.
He's
it feels like
phoning
weird
it in.
casting.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the trailer, it still didn't like feel better from like his casting, but the movie felt, I was like, okay, maybe I kind of get why they're like, I know why. It's called money. But like someone went like, I think I have a story to tell in this and it's not just going to be useless. And there's this whole like weird eclectic thing where there's like of course it's all high fantasy and very silly, but like the chocolate cartel of these rich guys and like he's trying to sell chocolate as the upstart Willy Wonka. I don't care about this. I didn't care about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've really, besides knowing and having seen the original Willy Wonka, I don't necessarily give a shit about the original either. Sorry, everybody.
People make a really big deal about it, and it's like, it's kind of a 6 out of 10 movie. I never really understood all the hype for it.
Also, the grandpa's a piece of shit,
Yeah,
right?
complete.
And they murdered kids in that movie.
Yeah, pretty
I
dark.
don't know if they're.
I don't know. This looks pretty lame to me throughout. Like there was this thing in the end. It's kind of telling you that his mom died, and he's doing it for his mom for some reason to tie some weird emotional reason to him building a chocolate factory. But
yeah, with like small problematic kind of people.
I will call him as punishment Timothy Chalamet until I see Dune 2, and then he redeems himself, and then he'll be Timothy Chalamet again. That's what I decided. Dune 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Anyway, moving on. Here's what I wanted to talk about. Ahsoka. I am so pumped for this show. You know that I know that you know that I know.
Yes, of course.
How much I love the series of Rebels and these characters, especially Ahsoka herself. And this trailer was fucking really good. It also made me sad that Ray Stevenson has recently passed away. He's prominent in this trailer, and he looks like he's doing a great job as this bad guy, Balin Skull. And we'll dive into some details in a minute here, but how'd you feel about this trailer?
Very good. Same as the first. It's I don't know what the fuck is going on. We got a little peepsy do at his name is completely escaping me right now.
Thrawn.
Not Thrawn, the main fella from Rebels. Ezra, there it is.
Oh, better than
some lightsaber work. And it looks very good.
Yeah, it feels
every time something comes out of this, it's just a reminder. Like, okay, I'm running out of time. I need to finish Rebels. I need to get caught up. I have like less than a season to watch.
Oh,
but those seasons are like 22 episodes long. So
you got this.
Yeah,
you got a month. This comes out August 23rd.
Yeah,
you got a little more than a month. This looks wonderful. So I have to talk about one thing. It's a very, very light spoiler, and I say light spoiler because you've asked me about this before, so we've already talked about it. You asked me if Sabine Wren was like force sensitive or like trained officially as a Jedi, and I said no. And something happens in this trailer that made me go, "Am I remembering things incorrectly?" Because we kind of got a bit of the vibe of the story in this, and obviously they're going to hunt down and find Ezra and stop Thrawn, which is just a straight continuation of the Rebel show, which is great. And they say some interesting lines about Ahsoka going to find Sabine, and that they imply that she was trained by Ahsoka, and Ahsoka was her master at some point. That none of that happens in Rebels. Spoiler alert. So in Rebels, and you've gotten to this part, she's trained in like swordsmithing, skills by Kanan and Ezra to wield the Darksaber. And that's kind of as far as they go. And they don't even necessarily make a direct hint that she is force sensitive in the show. They don't really fuck with it too much. However, so many people since that show ended have been openly speculating as to whether or not Sabine is force sensitive, and that would be a returning point at some point in the future for her character arc. And it seems to be the case. It seems to be that they're implying that at some point between the end of Rebels and this series, Ahsoka took Sabine under her wing at some point, which makes sense. I mean, she had an affinity for the Darksaber. We know that the Darksaber, more than even a standard lightsaber, is like sensitive to the user's emotional state. I would imagine that lends itself to needing someone who's a little force sensitive, or at least it would be better off. There was a lot of speculation about stuff that happened in the show as to why they think it's hints that she's force sensitive. I won't touch that stuff. I don't know none of it was overt. So I wasn't wrong. They don't really clearly hint that she's force sensitive, but I'm not upset about that. That's a cool development, for sure. And I think it would really strengthen Ahsoka's relationship with her, because there's a lot of interesting backstory there, or could be.
Well, she does what looks like she attempts to do like a force push or something in this trailer, and the bad woman, I don't know their names, says you have no power,
which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
and I was okay. So was she trying to develop a force?
Right.
Did Ahsoka sense something and they were trying to develop it and they'd never got anywhere? That would be cool if we got to see it blossom, so to speak, in this show. I don't know. I love all these characters a lot. Sabine is an awesome character. Ezra, like he's hard to love at first, but then you really fall in love with him. I love Ahsoka to death. Hera, obviously. There's been some spoilers out there that I'm glad you haven't seen yet, with characters who may or may not appear that you haven't seen in the show yet. I don't. So it's Balin Skull is the guy that Ray Stevenson's playing, and I believe it's Shin Hati for the female dark side user. They look cool.
They look very cool. They look more than cool. They look fucking excellent. It's like the best villain character design in Star Wars that we've seen in a long time. I think they look awesome. It's
simple too.
Yeah.
Which is the best part.
Dude, the simplest character designs are always the fucking best. When you put all this noise everywhere, it just looks so stupid.
Yeah.
They look excellent, dude. They look so good.
Yeah. There's a lot of speculation as to, I mean, there's Ray Stevenson's Balin Skull talks about how Anakin spoke highly of Ahsoka, and she says, I don't want to talk about my past. No one has any idea what that means. Obviously, he met Anakin at some point. We don't know if that's pre or post Vader, if he used to be like an Inquisitor, if he was a Jedi. I'm very interested. I think this looks awesome. Obviously, the introduction of Mithron Yerodo himself, played by the guy who voice acted him, which is just like icing on the fucking cake of fandom. It's like, good on you. They finally did that thing where we were like, just cast the guy who did the voice.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I really can't. And yeah, so I gotta say.
Yeah.
All right, you think everybody turned the podcast off? Okay, they probably thought we cut it out.
Right.
Next one, last one before we go. Again, this came out 4 hours ago, so it's a good thing we staved off the podcast today.
Yeah.
This is the final official trailer for Blue Beetle, which comes out the Blue, which comes out August 18th. So this trailer kind of goes a lot more through the storyline, and really it's like, nothing's revelatory here. It's going to be, this kid gets this power that he's not familiar with. He's going to have to learn it. He's going to have to become comfortable with the idea of he was chosen to be some sort of, hero figure. There's going to be people who want that power. And then he's going to have to take a fight again. It doesn't, like, the storyline, I would imagine, is not going to blow your fucking hat back. But, there's a scene in this trailer.
What an 80-year-old statement. That was, I appreciate that you just said that. Like, it's something people still say.
Blow your hat.
This will really blow the dust off your socks, this one, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's really going to get you. There's a selling point here. I mean, even the villain, like, I don't even know who he is or what his main thrust is, but he's like another dude in a different type of suit.
Yeah.
No idea where it's from. Like, that's just.
You didn't mean that as a joke, but it was still funny. Another dude in a different suit.
Yeah, another guy with other powers in another suit. Look, they got to give him somebody to fight, right?
Yeah.
But there's in the whole trailer, I'm like, okay, because to me, the entirety of this film will ride on the back of our main character, Zolo. I forget how to pronounce his name. I don't want to butcher it. The guy who was in Cobra Kai. Who's been cast as Jamie Reyes, Blue Beetle. And I think the characters in this film are what are going to make or break it. If they are lovable, if it's funny, if it's a smartly written film. And there's one scene in this trailer that made me have the slightest modicum of hope, and I don't know if it'll carry through, but for right now, I'm clinging onto it desperately. And it's a part in the trailer where he's like, your family makes you weak. And then it cuts to him and he says, no, my family's what makes me strong. And it's like the third in 3 weeks of podcasting line that I think that no one, like, he sold that line so well. There was like just the littlest bit of emotion behind it. And you could hear it in his voice and like it was catching up to him in his throat. And it really, it was surprising. I didn't expect to feel even the slightest bit of anything in this trailer. Otherwise, Suit does cool Suit shit. I don't know. It could still go either way for me. This movie could be a total shit show, or it could just be, meh, that was okay.
Yeah. Did you see Kubo and the Two Strings? I promise there's a through line here. So the part that you're talking about where he said, my family makes me stronger, reminded me of the part where the monkey is fighting the like magic sister on the boat, which sounds so ridiculous if you haven't seen the movie. And says like pretty much that same line, like, no, they made me stronger. And it reminded me of that. And that part always makes me cry in that movie. So maybe there was just like a sort of byproduct of having seen Kubo and the Two Strings that made me apply that to that scene. But I agree. It was tasty. I don't want to see this movie because I think that the story is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good. I think the characters could be likable. But I think I want to see this movie because it looks cool. And I think it's okay to just say, I think this looks like a good old time with action and slices. And that's why I want to see it. I don't know. Like there's, There's like what I said about it last time is it doesn't look like a Marvel film, and it doesn't look like a DC film. Obviously, it is a DC film, but it looks like, remember X-Men was like before the superhero like film was nailed down, like the formula. Like it's cool to go back and go like, oh, that's was the take on it then when we had like the action movie diagram figured out. But like the superhero thing wasn't really huge yet. I'm hoping it's kind of like it kind of gives me that idea. Like it's a similar feeling to that, where it's just like not the same fucking diagram we've seen a million times. Not as far as like storytelling, but just the way it's presented. I don't know. It just looks cool. I can't describe it.
Does have a very unique look to it, and obviously part of that is because of the scarab suit is very unique.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally like an alien Iron Man concept. Yeah, no, I'm not. So, you know, I always do this thing where like you and I'll talk back and forth, and whenever I can sneak it in, I'll like replay parts of the trailer, very low volume, so I can hear you, but I'm still like I'm like, oh yeah. So of course I scrubbed to the part where he says it, and I think they just did it. They cut it well in the trailer. It's like this really swelling, epic music, and the bad guy's got this proper like shitty, raspy tone. He's like, "The love you feel for your family is what makes you weak," and he delivers this very emotionally charged response where he's like, "No. I'm not gonna do it because I'll fuck it up." Moving on. It comes out next month. Go see it. I probably won't go see it in the theaters, but I feel like something get brighter. What happened?
It did. Yeah, we did a little light shifting in the room.
Oh, that's okay. No big deal.
Now I just look like Gandalf when he comes back to life in the Two Towers. That's what I'm going.
Well,
for
it's
right now.
perfect timing because it's time for the main topic of the evening. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Listen. We know it came out several months ago. We didn't go see it in theaters.
We didn't.
We did,
just saw it
however,
now.
just seen it. I saw it 2 days ago. He watched it last night. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I have no idea how you feel about it, and therefore I'm going to go first. Unsullied. I don't want to know your thoughts right away. I got to tell you, I like this movie a lot. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. It is a very sad movie. There's a lot of dark and somber things that occur in this movie, but there's also a lot of cathartic emotional growth for these characters, for almost all of them. And it was just fun. It was a fun adventure with high stakes for them personally, but not like universe shattering stakes, which again, we just had with The Flash, and it was a big selling point for me. I'm tired of these gonna take over the universe type people. I mean, sure, maybe he would have went there eventually, but this guy in particular was just a giant asshole doing giant asshole things in one corner of the universe that just happened to really, really affect one of their teammates. And that's why they had to deal with him. And I thought it was a great movie. It's hard to do sequels because obviously knowledge of the first and second movie is required to go into this and have the same emotional attachments that I did. So therefore, like, saying it's my favorite of the three is almost impossible because without watching the first one, you'd have no idea what the fuck, you wouldn't care about any of these people.
Yeah.
But I thought this was really well done. I really liked it. I cried a bunch because they made a lot of little animals in pain, and that was sad. I thought it was great. That's it. How did you feel about it?
I thought it was very good with some caveats.
Okay.
I think
Caveat me.
Yeah. I think one of the big things is just that like everybody was talking about, you know, the rocket flashbacks, and I just like knew what was going to happen by the time before I even hit play, and so that took away from it a little bit. Of course, the scene TM where it happens was like. You know what's weird is like the one that Rocket had the biggest connection with, Lila, was like the least sad to me. Like the one that hurt me the most was Teefs.
Was the walrus. Because
he didn't even get out. He was in the cage and he was just scared. It was awful. There's just something that's such a fine needle that just splits a nerve in half. There's just something so sad that he didn't even get out of the fucking cage. And he's just like, come back in. He's like begging them to just like be good and get back in the cage so nobody gets hurt. And they all died anyway. I think that I think that the villain was awful. Let me just get the things that I didn't like out of the way. I thought that he was unbearable, overacting, and he did so good in Peacemaker that I was like, what's happening? Like, where is the disconnect? Did he just not have like an understanding of the character, the High Evolutionary? I don't know if that's a comic book character. I don't know if it's a James Gunn creation. I don't know if he acts like that in the comic book. If so, then there should have been some like filter to real life. Every scene he was in, I was like, I cannot wait until you're not on the screen anymore. Even the final showdown with him was like short. It just sort of happened and then it was done. Beyond that, though, I really did like it. And I don't think it was as much of a like, it was just a proper send-off. I think that he did things in a way that were unexpected, especially in this sort of era of like superhero films. Like it ends and they split up. Like it's over, kind of. Like they've all gone off to pursue their own individual, you know, goals. And I just thought that was nice. Sometimes in your life, people you really care about, you do kind of just go down different paths. That's a part of life. I thought that was really a cool way to do it, instead of just like, we'll always be together like the other two have ended. It's just was nice to go like, no, they've all grown and now they need to kind of find their own way. Yeah,
and the Guardians will persist. The Guardians has always been a rotating team in the comics. So
but no, I thought there was really great character work. And that was my favorite thing about it, is that you saw some really cathartic. Some of it went just a touch too far, but not enough for me to be like, oh, this sucks. Like there was a scene where Mantis had her big moment where she was talking about Drax and she was like, it doesn't matter that he's stupid because he loves us and he makes us laugh. And that to me was like, oh, this is, everybody sort of had their scene where it was like their final sort of cathartic moment of like, this was the point of this character for these 3 movies. And I thought that was like really a great scene for her. And then the next scene is like, I'm also going to make these wild beasts who've been bad for 2 movies suddenly just become misunderstood. I was like, okay, like we get it. You trust everyone. That's your thing. But Drax, excellent. Even Chris Pratt.
Even Chris Pratt
was really good. I have to say it.
When she mentioned the grandfather thing, I went, oh shit, right, I forgot that motherfucker existed. And obviously I remember, as soon as they say it, I'm like, well, foreshadowing, I know how movies work, he's gonna end up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it was very well done. It was like, oh right, he does have emotional things he still has to work out, like he, you know. I thought that Gunn, I felt like he just found a really, like I said, cathartic way to help all of these people grow emotionally again, and to kind of wrap up their trilogy as a group together as the Guardians. How'd you feel about the first Marvel F-bomb?
I actually thought it was funny.
It got me too.
I knew what it was ahead of time, but out of context, I thought it was stupid, but like in the movie, it was really funny.
What I liked so much about it was that it was such an innocuous,
just totally nothing. It wasn't like the last line of the movie or something.
Right. Or like it wasn't during the big boss fight at the end. Yeah. He's telling her how to get into the car.
Get in the fucking car. Yeah, no, it was funny.
No, press the handle. What? Open the fucking door. Yeah, it got me so much that I hit rewind 10 seconds to watch it a second time.
That hallway scene was unbelievably incredible. That tracking shot. I know you're gonna tell me there's some clever cuts in the middle there.
No, of them all working together. I got to tell you, it reminded me of some of the best parts of the game and why I liked it so much.
I am really excited to play it. I have to finish Final Fantasy 16. And what's the other one? Yakuza 6 before I take another. I promised myself, but that is my very next thing I'm going to do once I beat those 2. Or even one of them, I'll probably start Guardians of the Galaxy. Now I'm like more excited to play that. I really liked it a lot. I think James Gunn makes good movies. I actually watched 2 because Veronica had seen 1 years ago and she had like somewhat of an interest to watch 3. I didn't know that we were going to watch it last night, but this weekend I'm like, hey, we should watch 2. You've never seen it. And I'll say, like, I know in the past I've kind of dunked on that movie a little bit, and I liked it a little more this time than I have in the past. I will still say that out of the 3, that is the one that it feels like Disney had their hooks in James Gunn the most. Like, it has the most of the, like, sort of Disney smear over it. but it's still like the I know that before I said that the Rocket Yondu stuff felt forced, and even some of the Yondu character work felt forced, and I didn't feel that way this time. Maybe I was just feeling cynical when I had watched it before, but I did like it better than on previous watches, which I think I've only seen it like 2 times. But so I came right off of 2, and literally the next day we watched 3, which made the scene of Kraglin, like seeing him off in the distance for like, again, even he's not really a minor character, but you understand he's not a part of the core cast.
Right.
Even he even had his little moment where he like learns how to use his heart to, use the arrow. It was very good. What's the fucking dog's name? Veronica was in love with that dog every moment that she was Cosmo.
Cosmo.
Yeah. Everybody just had their moment.
Obviously, the character's there to be cute and funny.
Yeah.
But the whole bad dog thing was just very well served.
Yeah.
I think it was a good running joke.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the whole gist of that is literally the dog the Soviets set up in the Marvel universe. It didn't die. Like great story. It actually got, I think abducted by aliens or something. And so that dog is still out there, has telepathic abilities, and is fucking awesome. Yeah, no, I thought they did a lot well with this film, and I don't know why I expected less from it. Like, it's not like I saw bad reviews or anything. I just didn't expect to really enjoy it as much as I did. I really, really had a great time with it. And
I think the red herring was like the raccoon. Why do I keep calling him that? The Rocket backstory.
The raccoon.
The raccoon. The Rocket backstory is all anybody is talking about. So in my head, I think I just built it up like that's going to be the thing that's really incredible about this movie. And it's not that it was bad. It's just that I think I just knew what was going to happen.
Right.
And so all the other shit that was going on that I just assumed nobody gave a shit about because nobody was talking about it, then had its opportunity to like surprise me. I think that's why it works so well.
Nathan Fillion's whole role as a security guard, where he's like, I got one of those too.
I've got a dumb one too. Yeah,
I've got a dumb one too. And he's like, I'm right here.
And the guy, he's like, this guy, he makes me proud all the time.
Yeah, really, you're doing a great job. No, it was very good. And
Adam Warlock was totally underutilized though, wasn't he? Holy shit.
Yeah, and I remember us reading about, we saw like screenshots of the trailers beforehand and reading about how like, well, he's like underdeveloped. He's literally like he's like a super powered being with the mind of a 6-year-old. And I thought they did that very well. He was not overtly malicious ever. He was told to do a thing. He tried to do it, and he was confused when things didn't go the way he expected them to.
But if you took him out of the movie wouldn't change. He didn't need to be. I feel like they hinted him in like a post-credit scene or something, right? In one of the previous ones. I feel like that's the only reason he was in this movie.
I think it was the end of 2.
I think 2. Yeah.
Because they piss off the Sovereign in the beginning of 2, and so at the end of 2 they show the cocoon that he's in.
The cocoon.
So that was the cocoon.
Oh,
the cacophonous.
And Groot's "I love you guys" was very excellent. I'm like the whole movie. Especially because in the trailer, if I remember correctly, he says "We are Groot." So like the whole time I'm like, he's going to do the "We are Groot" thing to call back to 1. I'm like waiting for it, like anticipating it. And so like at that moment, they're all like saying goodbye. I'm like, here it is, here it comes. And then he just goes, "I love you guys." I was like, that was fucking awesome. I just didn't expect that at all. Nice. It was really sweet movie.
Also, while we're calling out things about Groot that we liked, the fact that, I watched the F-bomb scene again, and right before they get in the car, he hands Groot his pistols and he goes, "You know what to do with these." And then so the reveal of him having them inside of him when they start fighting people, I thought was great. It was a good reminder that like these guys are fuck offs, and a lot of people think of them as jokes, but like they can actually fight, and they will fuck your shit up if you don't properly respect them. And I think that's always kind of how they've operated, was being underutilized or not perceived as the threat that they are. I can't think of the fucking word. Anyway, that's it. We're done. We're leaving. Bye.
That's it. It's almost 10 o'clock, so we're done. Bye.
It's almost 10 o'clock. Go. Bye. Yeah, we have things to watch next week. We're going to catch up on Secret Invasion, I think, if we can do that. We got to figure something else out. I don't know if it's going to be Witcher or...
hey, how much Yellow Jackets have you watched? Just curious.
Oh, not anymore, but we should do that too.
I already did. I'm almost like caught up.
How many?
I have like 3 until I'm caught up.
To like current
right
day
now, yeah.
Oh, so you finished season 1 a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I will try to finish season 1 before next week.
That's a big undertaking, so no worries if you can't.
Sexual. I like it. Okay, very good. We'll figure out if anything else comes out in the meantime. Otherwise, where can everybody find you at?
Twitter, Dr. Gloom MD, DRGLOOMMD. Where can they find you, Chris?
Twitter.
I'm trying to do that like end of the radio commercial thing, you know?
Yeah. Twitter, Crispy Mana, CRISPYMANA. Again, you can find us all over
You nailed that. Holy
TikTok.
shit.
You can find us all over TikTok and YouTube.
YouTube on Tuesday.
YouTube on Tuesday. Nigel Thornberg. All right, we're leaving. I gotta go to bed. All right, goodbye.
See ya.